My soul glorifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Saviour. For he has looked on the humble estate of his servant. For behold, from now on all generations will call me blessed. For he who is mighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. And his mercy is for those who fear him from generation to generation. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. He has brought down the mighty from their thrones, and exalted those of humble estate. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty. He has helped his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy, as he spoke to our fathers, to Abraham and his offspring forever. Crowd of nearly or over 250,000 people, estimated by the Italian authorities. We hear applause erupt as the coffin of Pope Francis enters St. Peter's Basilica for the last time. As the Requiem Mass concludes for Pope Francis, we transition to this second part of this live broadcast coming to you from St. Peter's Square in Basilica. The coffin of Pope Francis will now be transferred to St. Mary Major's Basilica. We thank our guests who has joined us today. My name is Devin Watkins, Father Bonga Majola.
And it's been a great joy of being with you today, and thank you for having prayed with us, and we will continue then our prayer. Thank you.
Laudetur Jesus Christus. This is Linda in a simple tomb with the simple inscription Franciscus. So we are here waiting to see the images of Pope Francis's coffin, which will be carried on an open-aired hearse. We still have to see it as the people of Rome are lining the streets to catch a last glimpse and to be able to pay their last respects to their much beloved bishop.
As running to try and get front row seats to what was a beautiful mass in the end. And it's a beautiful day in Rome as well, as Linda said. The square was gorgeous, and I can only imagine that the procession through Rome, Pope Francis's last trip from St. Peter's Basilica to St.Maria Major, on such a beautiful day, he couldn't have been.
Of this very moving and powerful celebration, this wonderful tribute, as well as the Basilica itself, the square itself, the images, the particular poignant moments during this, the liturgy, the Requiem Mass, have been captured with this stunning photography. And then our television viewers can see as well, this weather is absolutely perfect. It couldn't be a better day, very comfortable temperatures, strong sunshine, and just very light winds. And
for the last 12 years, and leaving the Vatican and the procession to St. Mary Major is beginning.
Yes, it's almost like a Pope-mobile, open, white. It's actually a hearse. I think we can call it correctly a hearse. There is no procession behind it. We've been told that the indications are that it will drive at about 10 kilometers per hour, so it should take about half an hour to reach St. Mary Major. Perhaps for security reasons, people have been asked not to walk behind it, but they will definitely be lining the streets.
And we've seen some of the images of the entirety of the route that you described earlier. Thousands and thousands of people have taken to the streets to say goodbye for the last time, and of course everyone will be able to visit St. Mary Major and visit Pope Francis's tomb, but this really is, the day that we are dedicating to him to say goodbye. And Rome, and not only Rome, the faithful have really come out for that.
we see the whole entourage there from high above. Now they've just exited Vatican City. They're on the avenue here that leads to a tunnel that then crosses over the Tiber River and will take them into the historic center. People lining the streets there, and we've had plenty of reports of people lining the streets across the city since this morning. So while many were crowded into St. Peter's Square, which had at least around 50,000 until they had to kind of close it off due to the numbers, and then so many hundreds of 150,000 others in the avenues surrounding the area.
Major. There really are a lot of people out there. You can hear the applause as he makes his way down.
You were saying, Francesca, the Vatican Gardens, which he probably walked. I thought it very beautiful that in the Vrogito, the last act, which they placed in his coffin, there was a summary of his life and of who he was and of his pontificate. And in particular, he was described as a simple and popular pastor in his archdiocese in Argentina, who traveled far and wide by metro and by bus, living in a flat, preparing his own food because he felt like a normal person. A population, 750,000 people, came to the Mass. The floods of people just there to welcome him. Very moving.
And they're countries that are so far off the grid, we barely even hear of them. And another gesture that was one of his final gestures was he visited the prison He went to Regina Coeli, I believe, which is a prison in the Trastevere area of Rome, not too far from the Vatican. And it's a symbolic gesture that he does every year at Easter. And of course, with him having been unwell, we weren't sure whether he would have done. And
We saw that beautiful drone photography and that live video that we'll have more of here. And
yes, it's remarkable also. It's the first papal funeral, can we say, with this advanced technology, digital technology, that is really giving everyone the possibility to almost be there.
Indeed, for our television viewers, they're seeing an incredible view, bird's eye view, literally of what's happening, and it gives you a sense of context.
In every aspect of his pontificate, so it was very clear when he said the words, and then in other smaller actions, it was clear to the people involved. And this is the case for the general audiences, because you may remember up until a few years ago, the readers at the general audiences were all Monsignori, religious consecrated men who worked.
But losing a voice for the forgotten. He was the only world leader who would never forget to mention ongoing conflicts that are completely out of the mainstream media. Myanmar, as you just mentioned, Sudan, the difficulties in South fraternity.
Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. An economy of fraternity, and it is bringing together a lot of the things that we've spoken about. It's bringing together the poor and the marginalized and the people suffering on the other side of the world, in our case, us being here in the Vatican, who are suffering war, and often they're countries who are suffering economically, and it's calling to action and to responsibility the countries that can help.
Exactly. Denouncing the great divide that there is between the rich and the poor. How often has he said all the food that gets thrown away by affluent societies would be more than enough to feed the millions and
I wish that people, when they go to pay homage to that icon, that they see only that, and they don't go there to go see a pope. So for that reason, he wished to be buried next to it in a space that is.
Seeing the Basilica right now.
He's almost there.
Is very
He's
close.
very close.
Oh, here he comes
here.
now.
Here he is.
The images are being shown from the Basilica,
Basilica.
and he's arrived. I have to say, it's a very touching moment. It's almost difficult to know what to say.
I think most people can see and watch, but many people are also perhaps following on radio. Yes, it is very solemn, it's very sad.
At the same time, it's a celebration of his life and ministry, and it's particularly poignant in this Jubilee of Hope as well, that he inaugurated, that he opened. And so I think, I would imagine that would be and of course it is the key theme as well that we celebrate in a very special way at Easter at this time, a time of hope, of birth, new life, and the popes. And as we saw with Pope Francis, he had that special dedication to Our Lady in this icon of Rome.
He visited the Basilica just recently during his convalescence at Casa Santa Marta after he was discharged from the hospital on the 23rd of March. He actually, on his way back from the hospital, he stopped to pay tribute to Our Lady.
We see those arriving, some of the cardinals and prelates who are arriving here for this moment before the coffin is taken into the Basilica for burial. This moment of that will take place here outside in front of the Basilica.
The Cardinal Camerlengo, Kevin.
If I'm not mistaken, just before his interment, the coffin will be placed for a few moments with the Pope facing the icon of Mary Salus Populi Romani, so that he can say his final goodbye to the Mary that to whom he has entrusted himself and the world to so many times.
It truly is a simple coffin. It has a very simple cross engraved in it, a tiny coat of arms, and the seal of the Holy See.
I think it's being shown to the crowd, who, as you can hear, have applauded, and it's our final goodbye now.
Yep.
Before it's taken in procession into the Basilica.
We hear the bells tolling. The Swiss Guards leading the procession.
Always present for the Pope's protection in every moment.
We're hearing the Sistine Chapel Choir there accompany us as the coffin is being brought in procession into the Basilica, going through the atrium now and now into the Basilica to be brought before the icon of the Salus Populi Romani before being placed in the tomb that has been prepared. It's a simple tomb bearing only the inscription Franciscus and a reproduction of the late Pope's pectoral cross. There we're seeing the icon of Salus Populi Romani in the chapel that will be next to where Pope Francis will be laid to rest. There we see the coffin before the Pauline Chapel where the icon of Salus Populi Romani is found. And we have some children who are bringing a homage to the altar there, above which is the icon of Mary. Recalling the flowers Pope Francis would bring in homage when he would go there to pray before an apostolic journey or to give thanks or to for special prayers in his many visits there.
I think these must be roses that people have brought, because they were single roses, white roses on long stems, and people probably brought those to lay on his coffin or close to him.
I think there was a group of people holding them outside the Basilica when the coffin was being brought up. And now he's
as you said, he is saluting Our Lady
and thanking her, I'm sure.
And now he's being taken close to the altar of St. Francis. The tomb is located just near there. And it will be taken to the niche of a side nave between, again, the Pauline Chapel and the altar of St. Francis.
Credit in